Oh, shit. Hey friends, welcome back. It is MAZIE with Barbecue by MAZIE. Today we are going to jump right in and dry brine some steaks. Dry brining is a super simple process that is going to elevate your steaks. If you can do it even 1 hour in advance, it is going to improve the crust on your steak and the tenderness of your steak. Once I started dry brining, my steaks went from here to here. Stick around to the end of the video to see how I got this amazing crust on my steak. So there's some super nerdy stuff behind the dry brining, and even though I have glasses, I'm not that much of a nerd, but what I can tell you is that the salt starts to break down the proteins in your steak, tenderizing it. And also the salt helps draw out the water in your steak, so that's going to give you that nice crust that everybody desires on their steak. So it's serving two purposes, and all you gotta do is sprinkle a little kosher salt on your steak. That's it. I like to dry brine my steak the day before, but sometimes I just forget. So I'll even start the dry brining process an hour or two before dinner, and I still think that it truly does help. All right, so the only things you're going to need to dry brine your steak are a steak. Now remember, this is not a magical method. If you're starting with a cheap steak, it's probably gonna still taste like cheap steak, but it will still help you get that nice crust and help it tenderize a little bit. But if you could start with a higher quality steak, of course, that's always going to help it out. And then you'll need something like a cookie sheet and a wire rack. I have an Amazon link below if you're interested in checking those out, and then just some kosher salt. All right, let's jump in and salt up our steaks. All right, so as we're applying the salt here, you're just going to apply the amount of salt that you would normally season your steak with. You're not going to wash it off or anything, so don't make it too salty by over salting the steak. Just keep in mind, you will be eating the amount of salt that you put on your steak for the dry brining process. So I am coming in with my salt here. This is a thicker piece of meat, so I'm gonna go pretty heavy on the salt. It can handle it, I promise. And then we're gonna flip it over to the other side. That is it. Our steak is in the process of dry brining. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to put your steak back in the fridge. The reason it's on the wire rack is that air is going to circulate around it, help draw out that moisture. An hour before you are ready to cook your steak, set it out, let it get to room temperature, and then proceed to cook your steak. So simple. Promise me you will not skip the dry brining on your steak. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This was a short and sweet video, just giving you a tip on how to elevate your steaks. The dry brining process is how you do it. If you have any questions, don't forget to drop a comment below. If you've watched this far in the video, please comment pink shark so I know who's hanging out with me till the bitter end. Appreciate you so much. All right, guys, you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back out here next time. Let's go. Closing time.